Hello and welcome to Tabletop for One. Today I will be doing a tutorial and a solo playthrough of Turing Machine, the punch card computer board game designed by Fabian Greidel and Johan Levitt, and it's published by Scorpion Mask Games. Turing Machine is a logic puzzler, a deduction game, where you are given you set up the game with a certain setup based on the code that you're trying to decode. And I'll just go straight into the game here. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to set this in the middle of your table here. And then according to the challenge given online, which I will have the link in my description, as well as information on the screen, you'll see the challenge code that I'm specifically doing, which was yesterday's challenge, December 14th, 2022. And so you're going to set it up based off of what it tells you. And in this case, it gives several numbered cards here that you're going to set up. So I have 1, 6, 14, 18, 19, 22. And we're going to set these up here. 1, 6, 14, 18, 19, 22. And the setup tells you to turn these, match up the green line with the green line and all that. For ease of reading for myself and for ease of you guys watching, I'm setting it up this way. And then we have the same deal with the cards here. We're given the numbers on the cards and the color. So you'll see there's numbers around the edge that correspond to specific patterns here. And in this case, the challenge requires the yellow numbers, and it gives the numbers in the way we're supposed to place them. I've already set them up in order, so we're going to set them here. Again, you'll find that information in my description and comments as to what cards to use for this challenge. Okay, so the goal of the game is to ask the computer here whether the code that we provide is the right code or corresponds in some sort of way. So we're asking various questions here. So this verifier says, I'm going to verify whether the blue number is equal to 1 or greater than 1. This one here is asking the machine if the yellow number is even or odd. This one's asking if one of the colors is the smallest color, the smallest number of all the other colors. So this one here asks if the sum of all three numbers is odd or even. This one asks if the sum of the yellow and blue is equal to, greater than, or less than 6. And this last one asks if the numbers are in ascending, descending, or no order at all. So right off the bat, we're going to choose numbers from our handy dandy tray here. You choose 3 different colors, and it could be same numbers, different numbers, your choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick 332. All right, so this is my number set up here. And if you'll notice, when you line everything up, you got 3 holes here that line up, the shapes, which will correspond to these cards. I'll show you in a moment. But you'll have 1 empty hole here, and that's going to give you the answer. Now, the empty hole could be anywhere on here, depending on the numbers you choose. But in this particular setup, this is the empty hole here that we're going to be focused on. And so we're going to ask a question. So I'm going to start with the verifier A, which is asking whether the blue number is equal to 1 or greater than 1. Now, what we're offering is our code and how it corresponds to the machine's code. So we're not necessarily asking if our code is right. We kind of are, but the machine's only going to tell us one part about the code, and that's the blue number in this particular case. So when I'm asking the machine to verify this number, I'm supplying it with a blue 3. So at this point, if I get an X, which means no, then we know that the 3, which is already greater than 1, right? Then we know that the 3 is not greater than 1. It's a little confusing. If I use a number 1 and a blue number 1 and ask the same question and I get a check mark, then we know that the blue is equal to 1. So you're asking to verify based off the number you're providing and how it compares to the actual code that you're trying to decode. So let me go ahead and show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this card here, you're going to line it up here. You'll see it lines up the 3 shapes here. And look, we have an X. So that we know that 3 falls under this greater than 1 scenario, and it's telling you that that is not true. So we know that the blue number is not greater than 1, which tells you right away that the blue number is equal to 1. So right off the bat, we know our first number. And so on this little sheet of paper here, you're going to write your numbers that you chose for the round. And you're going to go ahead and write the answer for the verifier that you chose. You're going to choose 3 each round, and then you're going to pick 3 new numbers and do another 3 verifiers. So in this case, we did A, and A says no. The way we asked it was false, but we know at this point that blue, or the triangle, equals 1. So we can go over here and cross off 5, 4, 3, 2, and so we know that number 1 is the first number in the sequence. Now, just to explain how that works and to show you, I'm going to switch this out with a 1. You wouldn't do this during normal gameplay because you're trying to figure it out without... This is effectively cheating because I'm verifying. So I'm going to take the same card that I used and show you. Now look, it's saying that this is correct. So it's telling you that this 1, which is a blue 1, equal, and we're asking if it's equal to 1, the answer is yes. So it verifies what we already knew based off of the previous question I had asked. Again, it's a little confusing until you get started, but once it clicks, it makes sense. So we're going to put this away. So we've done A. And so we're going to move on and try out F here. And F is asking if this set of numbers is in ascending, descending, or no order at all. Now, these two numbers are the same, so this is not in a descending order. It's not 3, 3, 2. That doesn't count as descending order. It has to be different numbers in order for ascending or descending to work. And so in this case, what we're offering is no order at all. So if we get a check mark, then no order is the actual value of the real code we're looking for. In other words, the real code we're looking for is not an ascending or descending value. If we get an X here, then we know that that the real code is in either ascending or descending order. So if we get an X here, we will know that it's in ascending order since we already know that blue is 1. And so logic would dictate that if the sequence starts with 1 and no order is false, then we know it's in ascending order because 1 has to ascend, not descend. However, we're going to find out what this actually is. And so we go ahead and flip this over, place this on here. Oh, we've got a check mark for this. This is in no order. And it's saying that's right. No order is correct. So we know for a fact that the code that we're trying to decode is not in any order, ascending or descending. So we go down, first we do a check mark here for F, and we go down here and we say no order. Or you can, write whatever notes you want to write, but that's what I write. So we know it's in no order. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next question. And so the next question we're going to ask is whether the sum of the numbers is even or odd. So we are offering the 332, which the sum is 8, and it's an even number. And we're going to ask it, is that true or false? And so we go ahead and flip this. And it says it's true. So therefore, we go ahead and write down, once again on our paper here, we did option D for verifier. And we know it's even. The sum of the numbers is even. Very good. So right off the bat, we have some good verifiers. And we're going to go ahead and put this back and move on. So we're going to put these numbers back. You can use same numbers or whatever. And we're going to pick new numbers. So I know 1 blue is right. And I think I'm just going to have that in there for purposes that I will explain in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to pick 154. All right? Now, the reason why I picked 154, well, I don't have any particular reason with 4 necessarily, but the 1 and the 5, I want to see if this is true. If blue plus yellow equals 6. All right? So that's going to be my first, I'm going to write down my numbers here, 154 on the paper. And so this is going to be my first verifier. So I'm going to check to see. We have 1 plus 5 equals 6 right here. If this is correct, then this will show a check mark. If it's incorrect, then we know that 5, yellow, is not the correct number. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and check that here. And sure enough, it's incorrect. So on here, we are going to cross out 5. We're going to put an X for E. And so we know yellow is not 5. Okay? And so moving on, we are going to check. Let's see. Let's go on to yellow being even or odd. We have an odd number here. So if we get a green check mark, we know that the yellow number for the code is odd. Go ahead and check that. And sure enough, it's odd. Okay. So let's go over the information that we have. So we're going to mark this as a check mark. It's odd. Also, earlier with the E is, you can put here triangle plus square does not equal 6. All right, so we know that yellow is odd. So we go ahead and we cross out the even numbers here. So we are left with 3 or 1 being a possible number here. Now, we also know that the total sum is even. So if we add this 1 to one of these numbers, that will produce an even number. That forces the purple number to be an even number as well. Otherwise, if let's say it was 1, 3, 4, or 1, 3, if we chose 1, 3, 5 as our answer, we'd end up with an odd sum, and that would be incorrect. So we're going to go ahead and cross off the odd numbers of the purple. So now we've reduced the possibility. We know 1. The yellow number could be 1 or 3, and the purple number could be 2 or 4. We also know that it's not in ascending or descending order, which should be able to give you a hint as to where we're going to go next. So we do know for a fact that it can't be 1, 3, 4. All right. Now it could be 1, 1, 4. That would not be in ascending or descending order. 1, 1, 2 or 1, 3, 2. But 1, 3, 4 is not correct. So if you want to write a note about that, you could. But we just know that because it's not in ascending order. All right. So now we need to find out whether it's the 1 for the yellow. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to go over here, put this way, and we're going to ask if blue is the smallest number. If it is the smallest number, then the yellow has to be a higher number. So it can't be 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask, and here we go. Check it out. Blue is the smallest number. So we're going to go ahead and go back over to our page here. We used option number C, got a check mark. And so we know that blue is the smallest number. So blue, smallest. And that leaves out 1 from the yellow. And since we know that it can't be 1, 3, 4, we now have our answer. 1, 3, 2. So the number is 1, 3, 2. We've completed it in 2 rounds and 6 verifiers. And there you have it. I, of course, did this yesterday and verified and beat the machine, it says. As you can check against the machine how long it took the machine to take to figure out the number. And yeah, you just verify it online and see how you did. And there you go. There you have it. We won the Turing machine. We beat the machine. We figured out the code. So there's a daily challenge every day for the Turing machine on www.turingmachine.info. You're able to easily share your results on social media, so you should definitely do so. Feel free to share your results on my page as well. We can compare our results. Or in the solo board game channels, or even wherever you'd like, but share it out there. What do you think of this game? Do you want me to do some more playthroughs to show you how I come up with my solutions and figure it out? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you like what you see here. Your likes help determine what I do next, as I want to do things that interest you. So if you like certain videos that I do, it encourages me to do more of those videos. And I appreciate everything you've done to encourage me thus far. Anyways, thank you very much for watching Tabletop for One, and have a great night.